What if Hogwarts wasn't run by Dumbledore, but by its brightest witch? Imagine a world where Hermione Granger, after the final battle, decides the wizarding world needs a fundamental change, starting with its most important institution. This isn't just about fixing a few broken staircases. This is about building a new Hogwarts from the ground up in her own image. Welcome back to the channel, Potter. Today, we re-diving into a massive what-if scenario that could change everything we know about the wizarding world. Forget the Hogwarts we knew. We're about to enroll in Granger's Academy of Magical Advancement. So grab your wands and let's explore this incredible new chapter. First things first, the curriculum. Hermione would look at the traditional Hogwarts subjects and say, "We can do better." The old system was full of gaps. Why wasn't there a class on magical law and wizarding politics? How could students graduate without understanding goblin rebellions from the goblin perspective or the societal structures of centaurs? So, at Granger's Academy, the core subjects get a major upgrade. Defense against the dark arts is no longer a cursed position with a revolving door of questionable teachers. It becomes magical defense and global wizarding strategy. Students don't just learn to duel. They study the history of dark magic, its psychological allure, and the political conditions that allow it to rise. Practical lessons would include not just deflecting hexes, but also crisis management, strategic retreats, and even magical first aid. Transfiguration and charms would be combined into a more practical subject, applied magical theory. Instead of just turning a teacup into a rat, students would learn the underlying principles of why and how magic works. Think of it like magical engineering. They'd be designing their own spells for specific purposes, understanding the intricate weave of intent and incantation. And what about history of magic? Let's be honest, Professor Binns had to go. In his place, Hermione would hire a diverse team of wizards, goblins, and perhaps even visiting centaur delegates. The class would be interactive, using pensives to witness historical events firsthand, ensuring students understand the rich and often difficult tapestry of the magical world. But the biggest change would be the new mandatory subjects! Muggle studies would no longer be an elective joke. It would be Muggle integration and technological studies. Taught by a Muggle-born witch or wizard who actually understands the internet, students would learn about non-magical society not as a curiosity, but as an essential part of the modern world. They understand that the function of a rubber duck is less important than the function of a smartphone or a satellite. Then there's magical creatures, ethics, and coexistence. No more casually dismissing house elves or misunderstanding This class, co-taught by a wizard and a representative from the creature community. A friendly goblin or a house elf advocate would focus on mutual respect and understanding. It's not just about how to care for them, but how to live with them as equals. SPEW would finally become official school policy! Now, let's talk about the house system. The 4 houses, while fostering bravery and ambition, also created deep divisions. Hermione saw firsthand how Slytherin became a breeding ground for prejudice. She wouldn't abolish the houses, but she'd reform them. The sorting hat ceremony would change. Instead of a one-time decision at age 11, students would be re-evaluated every few years. A brave Gryffindor might develop the cunning of a Slytherin, or a loyal Hufflepuff might discover a Ravenclaw's love for knowledge. The houses would become more fluid, representing a student's current strengths rather than a lifelong label. Furthermore, inter-house collaboration would be mandatory. All classes, dining, and even common rooms would be mixed. Imagine a grand central common room with 4 distinct wings for each house, but a shared central space where all students can study and socialize together. The House Cup would still exist, but points would be awarded for collaborative projects, not just individual achievements. The goal is unity, not rivalry. What about the castle itself? Hermione, a genius of logic and organization, would bring some much-needed order. The moving staircases, fun, but inefficient. They'd be replaced with a magically efficient transport system. Think magical elevators or designated predictable moving walkways. The Room of Requirement would be transformed into the Innovation Hub, a space where students can safely experiment and invent under the guidance of expert men and safety. Forget a three-headed dog guarding a trapdoor. The school's defenses would be systematic and multi-layered, designed with Hermione's brilliant, logical mind. There'd be ancient runes for protection, complex anti-apparition jinxes tied to every student's magical signature, and a dedicated, highlight-trained security team. No more students wandering into forbidden forests or battling trolls in the bathroom. Perhaps the most profound change would be the school's philosophy. Dumbledore, for all his wisdom, often kept secrets and played a long game, sometimes at great personal cost to his students. Hermione's Hogwarts would be founded on transparency, logic, and empowerment. Every student would be taught that their voice matters. They'd be encouraged to question authority, to think critically, and to find solutions through knowledge and collaboration, not just brute force or blind faith. Her Hogwarts would be a place that produces not just powerful wizards, but responsible global citizens. Graduates would be prepared to lead, to innovate, and to build a better, more integrated world for every one wizards, muggles, and magical creatures alike. It would be a school that truly lives up to its potential, a beacon of progress and enlightenment, all thanks to the brightest witch of her age. So, what do you think? Would you want to attend Granger's Academy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What other changes do you think Hermione would make? Thanks for joining me on this magical thought experiment. If you enjoyed this journey into a different wizarding world, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the universes we love. Until next time, stay magical.